So, this is my wonderful, wonderful friend Amy, and she came from London. Well, London, it's not quite right, but
kind of.
And we share the same story, right?
Similar, very, very similar stories.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I made a video before, so I told you that I got cancer and I will die. Nobody knows when, but it will happen. And
well, yeah, this is interesting that you brought this up first, because we're all going to die, but for me this journey is my intention is to survive.
Cool.
Yeah. And but my this sort of journey to this point has been actually part of it has been about coming into acceptance of death, of early death, but I'm doing everything in my power that's in alignment with my path to survive and to live, continue living and continue living a long life.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I am not in a rush or in a hurry, but I'm also prepared to go.
Yeah.
But I think we made the same experience with people who are, you have to live and you have to try everything.
Yeah.
In your case, it was the chemo. You don't like it, right?
Yeah. So one of the hardest parts of the journey that I have found so far has been because I have different views to most of the people around me, not all of them, but most of them, and sort of coming face to face with different opinions has been really challenging, because my choices have been different to what other people would choose. So it's been it's been something that has triggered sort of fear and doubt, and so part of the journey has been to move through that fear and doubt, which I've been doing.
In my case, it's some people tell me, you have to fight to get healed. But I feel I feel whole, heal, and I don't need to get healed. Of course, I will have treatments as well.
Yeah.
And as I said before, I'm not in the rush, but I'm preparing myself more to have a good transition.
Yes.
Is that right?
Transition.
Transition. Thank you. Because I don't have to work so hard, but I work hard for being clean. Being clean means that I have no enemy, that I don't have to... how I can say it?
So no regrets or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
That my soul is clean and it's possible to light up.
Yes. Yeah. And for me too, my focus has been, rather than putting all my focus on healing physically, it's been that I want to heal my soul,
yes,
my spirit.
Yeah.
Yes, and that for me, for the similar reasons to, if transition is coming soon, then I want to have lived the rest of my days, weeks, months, years, giving my soul all the love that it hasn't had, so filling my soul with all that love, and that has felt amazing. It's felt really beautiful and wholesome, and that's the sort of like that's what's felt right for me in my journey.
Yeah. We both Amy's here now for a couple of days, and it's a huge present for me.
And for me.
And we're talking a lot, and we both found out that in the moment when we got the diagnosis, that something changed in us.
Yeah, in a big way.
In a big way.
Yeah.
Also for me, I immediately, out of nothing, I started to be in the now.
Yes, oh my goodness. Yeah,
Right?
It was like pretty instant where all of a sudden all the past stuff didn't matter. Any sort of like crap, I can't think of a better word, from the past suddenly became sort of meaningless, insignificant, and didn't matter, and or wasn't important. But what was important is this moment. And so it was almost as if all of a sudden I was pulled into the present, and I've been able to stay here.
Stay there, yes, that's the important. Yeah, to stay there.
Yes. And also then sort of after that then came the not needing to project myself into the future as well. And again, so not needing to be in the past or the future, because we don't know if there's gonna be a future. So that's been one of the massive gifts.
Yeah.
And that it seems we both recognised so quickly.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
And what we also find out, of course, we are still sometimes getting angry for bullshit.
Of course, yeah.
But our body reacts very differently.
Yes.
Yesterday I had a little problem with YouTube, and I was a little bit all over the place, and I couldn't breathe anymore. My body felt sick, and remember when I said I have to go to sleep now?
Yes.
I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
Our body reacts immediately.
Yeah.
And what we both realized before the diagnosis, we have done the same, but we continue.
Yeah, exactly. So even though our bodies are always speaking to us, communicating, I think before certainly I was ignoring the messages, and now the body's screaming so loudly.
We don't have the chance to ignore. No chance.
No, and it's amazing how, or it's really surprising how just a small amount of stress can trigger a physical reaction so instantly, and it's I was saying earlier, it's a good thing because it's forcing us to actually listen to ourselves, listen to our bodies, and honor them, and do what is needed, basically.
Yes.
So rest, for example, or what you did last night, go to bed instead of staying up with us, and that's been something, another big part of my healing journey is acutely listening to my body and to my needs and to my soul, and that's felt extremely healing.
And I can't remember, was it this morning or yesterday, that we find out something very interesting. We were talking about being insecure.
Being insecure.
Insecure. Sorry, my English sucks sometimes. And we both found out, I think, that we are still insecure, but it doesn't matter anymore.
So many things don't matter anymore. I find.
Before it was also for us a problem being insecure, and we tried to hide it. And now I can observe that I'm insecure. Of course I am, because I have no idea where the journey is going to.
Yeah.
And it's not a problem
It's
at
not
all.
a problem
It's
anymore.
okay to be insecure, right?
Yeah. So it's sort of observing our quirks, our thoughts, our behaviours, our reactions, and being like, oh, okay, I'm having these thoughts right now, these negative thoughts, this judgment, this criticism, and instead of getting stuck in that loop in your mind, observing it and then sort of finding peace in that way by and also finding peace with if we're still in that pattern of beating ourselves up, to not beat ourselves up for beating ourselves up. And again, like this comes to the theme of acceptance, which is the biggest, I think. Acceptance, letting go, surrender. Those before my diagnosis, just weeks before my diagnosis, I had written in my journal that the thing I wanted to focus on for 2023 was acceptance. And then boom!
Here you have it, a very strong lesson, or a heavy lesson.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I didn't share that with you before now, but
we are doing it
now we are. Yeah.
And also we talked about, so we both have, we are quite happy because we both are believing that when our life is ending here, it will not end.
Yes, yeah.
And we also find out, if we find out on the day everything is a whole bullshit, it doesn't matter, because the way how we think now, it gives us every single day, every second, a much better feeling, right?
Exactly. It gives us that peace and happiness. So just what does it matter in the end? What's true or real? Because ultimately, with having this belief that when we die, when we transition, actually we're not going anywhere, and it's just a transition, and it's just a part of life, and so to believe that way feels really good, so great.
Yeah.
Why
so
not?
It could be a lie,
It could
but
be.
the other thing, just the opposite, it's also a lie.
Yeah.
So I choose which lie it's better for my feelings, right?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. And then if you want to be philosophical,
hey, Anna. Dear, the sweetest Anna, come here to us. Yeah.
It's like anything, I suppose. We get to choose. We get to choose if we're afraid, or we get to choose if we're feeling peace in our hearts and love. And now, since the diagnosis, that's become much easier for me. I've been able to decide, because of course there have been many moments of total terror, and weeks and weeks of being in that sort of hole of fear and anxiety. But I have been able to more easily, maybe not more easily, but I've been able to pull myself out of that, and then stay out of that. So I think, I don't know, it's interesting.
I have the same feeling that it's so clear that I have a choice, and I can choose if I go with my fear thoughts or the Leider thoughts. Let it call it Leider thoughts, because also what I recognize that I also can be, I feel fear once in a while, but I can let the fear go through me. I what do you call? Oh my God!
Like you breathe through it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I breathe for it, and I have done that before the diagnosis as well, and it never worked so good.
It doesn't work
Now
as
it works.
well.
Now
Yeah.
I'm really surprised.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's very paradox, but I must say this diagnosis was for me a huge present.
Yes.
I'm afraid to say it, but
yes.
I feel it this way.
Me too. That's sort of how I started seeing it as a gift quite quickly, for many reasons, and also these lessons of fear thoughts, and they're coming faster or able to learn these lessons more quickly. And I also agree and have had the same experience with fear thoughts would come, and I remember it's something I said to you the other day. I had the realization that it's not the illness that's the problem, it's the fear.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
And so if I can just recognize the fear thoughts for what they are, and then step out of them and stop sort of going there, because that's going to the future. It's going to an imagined scenario, an invented scenario that is not necessarily going to happen, and it's those thoughts that are making me suffer.
Yeah, the same here.
So therefore I've sort of been forced to put these ideas that we know, because we maybe have learned in our spiritual paths, learned intellectually, oh, it's the thoughts, oh, it's the fear, but actually now it's like, okay, now I understand it in an experiential way, if that's the right word.
Yes.
I'm experiencing that.
Yes. We are really learning very, very fast
Very
how
fast.
to drive our body.
Yeah.
Or how to drive the car.
Yeah.
I wanted to make a,
Yes.
how to drive our body, especially our thoughts.
Yes.
Yeah. Because we can really choose our thoughts. Of course, sometimes I am triggered that a thought is so strong that it comes and it comes again and again and again.
Yeah.
And it can be very annoying. But still, I know that I can choose. I can say stop.
Yes.
And I do that lesson for 1 hour. Stop,
Yeah.
stop. And after a while it works and it stops, right?
And before the diagnosis, I just couldn't. I couldn't get out of depression.
No.
I couldn't get out of anxiety. I couldn't get out of this sort of cycle of difficult experiences, and now life is saying you have to, and somehow then I can.
Yes.
All of a sudden.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I do realize before the diagnosis, I was sometimes very in fear being alive.
Yes.
And now I love the life so much.
Yes.
I never had such a huge love for life.
Me neither. No way. And the contrast is huge. Me too, that I have never ever appreciated life ever until now. And I'm so grateful for that. It feels so precious, it feels beautiful, it feels like a gift, and it had not, in a few moments in my life, which were short lasting, I had felt these blissful feelings, and gratitude, of course, but not like now, and not again. Now it's a lot more consistent.
Yeah, stable. Yeah, consistent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.